What happens when a prince expects royal treatment and gets none? You're about to witness one of the most jaw-dropping celebrity meltdowns ever caught on live TV. What began as a prestigious moment at the Dorian TV Awards quickly unraveled into a full-blown public spectacle. And Prince Harry was at the center of it all. The night was supposed to celebrate excellence in television. The red carpet was rolled out. Cameras were live, and Harry, Duke of Sussex, was invited as a special guest to present the award for Best Documentary Series. A nod to his recent work in television. But the moment he walked on stage, things went sideways. Veteran host Victoria Sterling introduced him with her usual poise. "Please welcome Harry, Duke of Sussex." Polite, formal, respectful, or so everyone thought, but Harry's face said otherwise. His jaw clenched, his eyes narrowed. And then, with a measured tone that barely concealed his irritation, he stepped to the mic and said, "Thank you, Victoria. Though I believe there's been some confusion about how I should be introduced." Victoria, ever the professional, responded calmly, "Of course. My apologies. How would you prefer to be introduced?" And that's when the temperature in the room dropped. "I am Prince Harry, your Royal Highness. That is the proper protocol, and how I expect to be addressed throughout this evening." A gasp rippled through the audience. You could feel the tension spike through the screen. Victoria didn't flinch. She smiled politely, but her response was firm. "Harry, with respect, we follow one standard here. Presidents, Nobel Prize winners, heads of state, all are introduced by their current roles. Tonight, you're here as a documentary producer." But Harry wasn't having it. "I am not just anyone. I am a member of the British royal family. That title doesn't vanish just because I've chosen a different path." The murmurs from the crowd grew louder. Cameras captured every flicker of emotion on Harry's face. Pride, anger, disbelief. Victoria, trying to hold the show together, calmly replied, "This is the Dorian Awards, not a royal function. We treat all our guests with equal respect." But Harry snapped, "Don't talk to me about respect while actively disrespecting me. You invited me here under false pretenses." Then came the moment no one could believe. This entire production is beneath the standards I'm accustomed to. If you can't show proper respect for who I am, perhaps I shouldn't be here at all. Gasps, silence, one stunned beat after another. Victoria glanced to the wings, clearly looking for guidance from producers. The broadcast was still live, and Prince Harry had just detonated the most unexpected TV controversy of the year. Over a title. She tried to steady the moment. "Harry, please. Let's focus on why we're here." But the damage was done. The clip was already going viral. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #FiRoyal Meltdown and #5Dorian Disaster started trending before the show even went to commercial. Victoria Sterling tried to salvage the moment. "Let's just continue with the award presentation. Our viewers are here to celebrate television excellence." But Harry wasn't letting it go. He cut in, his voice laced with contempt. "Our viewers. These people tuned in to see me, Victoria. They came to see Prince Harry, not whatever watered down version of me you're trying to shove down their throats. And if you can't deliver that, then you're failing them just as much as you're failing me." The room tensed. You could feel it shift from awkward to dangerous. Victoria straightened her spine. The smile was gone. "Harry, let me be clear. This is my show. This is our format. If you can't conduct yourself professionally, then maybe you need to reconsider your participation." That was the moment everything snapped. Harry's face flushed. His voice dropped to a low, trembling whisper. "Did you just threaten me on live television?" Victoria didn't blink. Her composure cracked just slightly. Enough to show steel beneath the surface. That wasn't a threat. That was a fact. This is a professional environment. And if you can't behave accordingly, then yes, your participation becomes questionable. The auditorium went dead silent. Even the camera crew seemed frozen, capturing every second like it was history in the making. Harry's face shifted. Shock, rage, disbelief. "You have no idea what you've just done," he hissed. "Do you understand the gravity of publicly confronting a member of the royal family? This isn't just some celebrity spat, Victoria. This is an international incident waiting to happen." And Victoria's laugh was sharp. "An international incident? Harry, this is a TV awards show, not a summit in Geneva. Your sense of self-importance is frankly breathtaking." That hit him like a slap. He opened his mouth, then closed it, opened it again. Finally, the words came, venomous, indignant. "My self-importance? I am important. I represent something far bigger than this sideshow. Bigger than your career. Bigger than anything you've ever accomplished." Victoria's voice turned icy. "Really? And what exactly do you represent, Harry? Because from where I'm standing, you're someone who walked away from royal duties and still expects royal treatment. You can't have it both ways." A collective gasp echoed through the theater. She said what everyone else had only whispered. Harry exploded. "How dare you? How dare you reduce everything I've sacrificed, everything I've given up, to some cheap soundbite for your pathetic little show?" Victoria stood her ground. "The only one turning this into a pity parade is you. We invited you to present an award, not to hold a therapy session about your life choices." The Harry's voice pitched higher, brittle and furious. "You think this is therapy? I'm trying to preserve some basic dignity while you publicly humiliate me." Victoria fired back, unflinching. "No one is humiliating you, Harry, except yourself. The more you talk, the more damage you do to your own reputation." Harry stepped in close, pointing a shaking finger. "My reputation was built over decades, of service, of charity, of representing the crown with dignity. And you think this will undo all of that?" Victoria didn't blink. "I think this is showing the world who you really are when things don't go your way. And frankly, it's not a good look." The camera zoomed in. Harry's jaw clenched. Something in his expression cracked. His voice dropped, cold and dangerous. "Victoria, you just made the biggest mistake of your career. Do you even understand the kind of influence I have? The people I know? The power I wield in this industry?" Victoria raised an eyebrow. "Are you seriously threatening my career because I won't call you Your Royal Highness?" Harry smiled, but there was no warmth. "I'm not threatening anything. I'm just reminding you that actions have consequences, and yours will have very serious ones." Backstage, producers panicked. Frantic hand signals begged for a commercial break. But Victoria wasn't budging. "Let me be crystal clear, Harry. If you think you can intimidate me, or anyone here, into bowing and scraping for your ego, you've deeply misjudged the situation." He stared at her, stunned. Misjudged? Hair in the world held its breath. Harry let out a harsh, bitter laugh. "The only person misjudging anything here is you," he said coldly. "You think this is some kind of game? A ratings grab for your little award, bait special. You're playing with forces you don't understand." "Forces?" Victoria blinked, incredulous. "Harry, you're not a superhero. You're a grown man throwing a tantrum because someone didn't use your preferred title." That landed like a punch. Something in Harry visibly broke. His last shred of composure disintegrated. "My ego," he snapped, his voice cracking with fury. "You sanctimonious self-righteous broadcaster. You have no idea what it means to carry the weight of tradition, of duty, of representing something greater than yourself. And you have no idea what it's like to earn your place through merit, not birthright." Victoria shot back. "But here's the difference between us, Harry. I don't expect special treatment because of my background." His face flushed an alarming shade of red. "Special treatment," he spat. "Asking to be addressed properly is basic respect. Something you clearly don't understand. Respect is earned." "Harry," Victoria said, steady and firm, "and right now, your behavior is earning you the opposite of it, from everyone watching." Harry turned sharply to the camera, his eyes wild, unfocused. Everyone watching knows who I am, what I've done, what I represent, and they can see exactly what's happening here. This pathetic excuse for a host trying to drag me down. Victoria followed his gaze. What everyone watching sees, she replied calmly, is someone who claims to stand for dignity and service throwing a public tantrum because he didn't get his way. Harry spun back, voice rising again, nearly shouting. This isn't a tantrum. This is me standing up for myself, against someone with a clear agenda. Someone who lured me here under false pretenses just to humiliate me. The only false pretense here, Victoria cut through, is the belief that the world owes you deference because of a title you were born with. The silence that followed was razor sharp. Harry stared at her like she had just committed sacrilege, like no one had ever dared speak to him this way. Then, in a low, trembling voice, he said, "You've just ended your career, Victoria. You realize that, don't you?" Victoria held his gaze. "If telling the truth about your behavior ends my career, then so be it," she said, voice calm but resolute. "I will not be bullied into silence, by you or anyone else." It hit Harry like a slap. His eyes widened. For a moment, he looked genuinely stunned. "You think this is bullying?" he asked, voice cracking again. "I came here in good faith, expecting basic courtesy. Instead, I've been ambushed, humiliated. And now you're playing the victim, Harry?" Victoria said firmly. "The only person humiliating you right now is you. Every word out of your mouth has been about entitlement, threats, and blame. That's not the behavior of someone who earns respect, royal or not." Harry's hands trembled. "Entitlement," he repeated. "I've spent my entire adult life in service, military, charitable, public. I've earned the right to be treated with dignity. And I've worked just as hard to get where I am." Victoria snapped back. "But I don't expect the world to bow because of it. I do my job. I treat people with respect. I expect the same." Harry's voice rose, his self-control slipping further. "You call this respect? You've torn me down, mocked my title, dismissed everything I've done, and now you lecture me on respect." Victoria's patience cracked. "Harry, I've only responded to your increasingly inappropriate behavior. You came here a guest and acted like a spoiled child who didn't get his way." The phrase landed like a blow. "Spoiled child," he repeated, his voice trembling with rage and pain. "Do you have any idea what I've sacrificed? What I've endured? We've all endured things," Victoria replied, her voice softening but staying firm. "That doesn't give you the right to lash out at people who won't cater to your every demand." Cater. Harry's breath came fast, uneven. "Asking to be called by my proper title is catering. This is who I am, Victoria, my identity, my heritage, what I was raised to be. And this," she said quietly, "this entitled, explosive, threatening version of you, that's who you've chosen to become. Is that really the legacy you want to leave?" The Harry froze. The word legacy hung in the air like a curse. His anger drained from his face, replaced by something pale, hollow, haunted. "You think this defines my legacy?" he whispered. "Harry," Victoria said gently, "your legacy is being written right now, in front of millions of people, and it's not the legacy of someone who stands for dignity and service." He looked around, at the lights, the cameras, the audience, suddenly small, lost in the theater he had tried to dominate. And when he turned back to Victoria, his face was different. Not angry, not righteous, just exposed. He broke on live TV, and the world watched. "This is impossible," Harry muttered, voice cracking as he stood at the podium. "This whole thing is impossible. I can't do this anymore." Victoria's voice softened, a flicker of concern showing through. "Harry, maybe we just take a breath." "No," he cut her off, his voice spiraling into desperation. "I can't take a breath. I can't keep pretending this is okay. I won't stand here and be humiliated like this." He backed away from the podium, eyes darting, movements erratic, panic rising in every breath. "This is wrong. All of it. I never should have come here. I shouldn't have to deal with this. Victoria reached out cautiously. Harry, please. Don't, he snapped, pointing straight at her. Don't try to fix this now. You made your choice, Victoria. You showed the world exactly what I mean to you. I won't stand here and be torn apart. Gasps rippled through the stunned audience as Harry fumbled with his microphone pack, hands trembling so badly he could barely pull the cord free. I'm done, he declared, yanking the mic loose. I'm done with this show, with this treatment, with all of it. Wait, Victoria called after him, but he was already storming toward the wings. No, he shouted over his shoulder. I waited long enough. For respect, for courtesy, for basic human decency. And what I got instead was a public execution. He stumbled on the stage steps, catching the railing with one hand. Then he turned, one final time, and faced her. You want to know what this was really about? Victoria. His voice echoed across the silent auditorium. It's about people like you thinking you can tear people like me down for ratings. Well, congratulations. You got your moment. Victoria stepped forward, trying to calm him. Harry, that's not what this was about. Wasn't it? His laugh was bitter. Then explain why a simple request for protocol turned into a full, blown character assassination. Why you needed to question who I am and what I represent. Because your reaction was completely disproportionate, she replied, her voice tight. You took a correction on titles and turned it into threats, accusations, and demands for special treatment. Harry stared at her, chest heaving. Special treatment. There it is again. Maybe you're right. Maybe expecting basic courtesy and respect is too much. In your world, Victoria didn't flinch. It's not about courtesy. Harry, it's about how you handle not getting exactly what you want, exactly when you want it. That was the last straw. Harry's face contorted, not in sorrow, but in rage. Fine, he seethed. You want to see how I handle not getting what I want? He ripped off the remaining audio gear and slammed it to the stage floor. The sharp screech of feedback made the entire room wince. I don't need this, he said, voice now booming without a mic. I don't need your stage, your show, your audience, or your fake respect. I've spent my life earning real respect from people who actually matter. He turned to leave, then paused, glancing back. And Victoria, when the dust settles on this disaster you orchestrated, remember you chose this. You chose to humiliate your guest for drama. You chose to destroy someone's dignity for entertainment. That's your legacy now. But she stood frozen. But she couldn't let it end like that. Harry, she called out, her voice shaking, the only person who destroyed anything here. Was you with your own behavior. The Harry reached the exit. His hand gripped the door. For a second, it looked like he might turn around. Instead, he said one final thing. History will be the judge of that, Victoria. And history remembers everything. Then he was gone. The audience remained frozen, cameras still rolling. And on that stage, Victoria stood alone, under hot lights, in the cold aftermath of a live breakdown that would go down as one of the most shocking moments in awards show history. So what do you think? Was this a justified meltdown, or did Harry cross a line? Was Victoria holding her ground, or throwing someone under the bus for spectacle? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more explosive celebrity showdowns that should never have happened.